his name mentioned, it literally broke my heart. Is that a boner? Show me your moves. And you know what's funny? She does. We're only on chapter 20. Nice being Phil, should we say. It's 11 AM. I am going to be starting my reread of The Deal. I am so excited to be finally doing this reread because the show is coming out in literally a few days time, and I wanted to read this in preparation for the show because I want to know as many details as I possibly can. Now, the last time I reread this was sometime last year. I want to say maybe like September, October, something like that. A little less than a year ago. It's been a little while, but I just want to make sure like my mind is fresh on the book, so that is why I'm going to be rereading it. I thought I'd bring you along with me because I mean I'm going to be bringing you along for the show, so why not bring you along for the book? I haven't stopped thinking about off-campus series. Like, I am so excited for this show to come out. So excited because this is like one of my favorite series. It is a series that kind of got me into reading a little bit. Obviously it was the after series, but this was like a series I read at the beginning of my reading journey type thing, and it was like one of the books that I rated 5 stars in the beginning type thing. Like, I have like an attachment to this series. I am excited to be giving it a reread. I can't remember the last time I was this excited for an adaptation, if I'm being completely honest, and like I said, I think it's because this has been like one of my favorite series since the beginning, like attachment type thing, and I can't wait to see what they do with series of like what they're gonna add in, what they decide to leave out. I don't know, I'm just really intrigued by it. I'm gonna start rambling about it now though. This reading vlog is going to contain spoilers, as I feel like most people have read this already, and obviously I am reading it before the show comes out, but if you obviously haven't read this already, I would recommend watching this video at least after watching the show, if you plan to. I am going to stop rambling and let's just get right into reading The Deal. So I forgot how quickly we get into things. I am literally like 5 pages in, and already off the bat you know about Hannah's sexual assault, and Hannah and Garrett have already like interacted. We're literally 5 pages in and we're already getting all of this information, which I like. I like that we're kind of just jumping into things. And then we also immediately get introduced to Ali and also the boys, so Tucker, Dean, Logan. Already I'm having the time of my life. And we're 5 pages in. I'm 7 pages in. I haven't read much more. And now I remember how I didn't like how Garrett spoke about women in the beginning of the book. Now, this is an issue I have with all of the books in the series, is the men always speaking like gross about the women. I don't know what it is, but and then they always get like this redemption thing where they change, and then, you know. Now, that's just the one thing I don't like. Does it affect my rating and enjoyment? No, because I focus on like the main points, you know, but that is the one thing I didn't like. But I'm going to read to you what I mean when I like what I'm talking about. The dark-haired girl heads back to the aisle. Mona, Molly, the M sounds right, but the rest is a mystery. She has her midterm in hand, but I don't sneak a peek because I assume she failed just like everyone else. I let her pass before I step into the aisle. I suppose I can say it's the gentleman in me, but that would be a lie. I want to check out her ass again because it's a damn sexy ass, and now that I've seen it, I wouldn't mind another look. I follow her up to the exit, suddenly realizing how freaking tiny she is, and one step below her, yet I can see the top of her head. Just as we reach the door, she stumbles on absolutely nothing, and the book in her hand clatters to the floor. I'm such a klutz. She drops to her knees, and so do I, because contrary to my previous statement, I can be a gentleman when I want to be, and the gentlemanly thing to do is help her gather her books. Now, the thing with this, right, is I feel like the author really tried to make it so that he was like gross, you know, but then had like his redemption thing of like he is a gentleman. And I felt like it was like really being thrown at us that he is a gentleman in that short amount of time. Even though after, like just before then he was like, you know, that was just like a little example. Obviously I know he has more thoughts and all that stuff. I know it gets worse for a little bit, but anyway, that was just a little complaint. I don't want to really say complaint, but just a little side note. I just had to come and read you all page 51 because I did just sit here and giggle out loud because I did find it funny. So yes, I'm re-offering to go out with you. I repassed. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to call a cab. No you don't. My phone had gone idle, so I quickly type in my password to unlock it. Seriously, don't bother, Garrett says. I can drive you home. I don't need a ride. That's what cabs do. They give you rides. I don't need a ride from you. I don't know why, I just found that hilarious. I am on page 105. I have been eating this up. I feel like I am flying through this, and that is just because I am enjoying it so much. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I am, just because it is a reread. This is the third time of me reading it, and because like I only read it last year, I thought, oh, maybe it's a bit too soon. But honestly, I'm having a blast with it, because to be completely honest, I don't remember as much as I thought I did. Let me just tell you, book amnesia is definitely a real thing, and I do suffer from it quite a lot, because I always think that I'm leaving a book with details knowing it. Nope, I don't remember like little details. I remember like the main plot, I remember like the important things to the story, but there's just a few little like details that I don't remember. I'm like, oh yeah, or I remember how it went, like I'll remember it but I don't remember how it went down exactly, type thing. And it is crazy to me how quickly this book moves. Like it is moving so quickly, in a good way, I don't mean it in a bad way. They're already friends and we're on chapter 12. But again, I feel like that's important to the story. Like I like how quickly they do become friends. But for example, we meet at FMC, then we meet at MMC, and then they meet each other, and then they make the deal, and then they're friends, like all in a short amount of time. But like I said, I do like how quickly it is. I feel like it is important to the story that we kind of get them to be friends fast and quickly, because then they can gain their friendship first, or should I say build their friendship first. I forgot how funny Garrett and Hannah are. Like their banter with each other is hilarious. I love it so much. It's like good banter that actually makes you giggle. And I like that we meet the roommates at around like the 20ish page mark really quickly. One, because I do love them as the characters, but also again it's kind of like building that found family, which is one of the things that I love about this series, but building it early on in the book. And they mentioned Bo one time, and again, spoilers if you haven't read any more of the series, but Bo dies in the third book. His name mentioned, it literally broke my heart, because obviously I know what's gonna happen. And I think that's like the crazy thing about rereads, is you already know what to expect, and so it gives you like a different type of perspective of things. But I'm having a great time reading it. I am going to continue reading, and I'll give you all an update once I have one. Okay, this isn't the best angle, but I haven't even read 2 more pages and already I have something to update you on. So basically, Garrett and Hannah, they wake up in each other's arms, and Garrett is the first one to wake up, and he's like freaking out because they're in each other's arms, and he's like, what the, how did we end up cuddling together? Okay, my battery died. But then he's freaking out because he's like, oh, actually this is kind of nice, why am I enjoying this? And then he's like, wait, no, I shouldn't be thinking this, type thing, I shouldn't be enjoying it, like what's going on, type thing. And he's just like really confused about his feelings and why he's liking it, all that stuff. He's kind of like having a moment in his head, type thing. And so he's like, wait, why am I thinking that it's nice? How is this nice? Like, because obviously he's just seeing Hannah as like a friend type thing, or someone to help him. So he's a little bit confused in his head. But even though he's having all these thoughts and he's like, I shouldn't be enjoying this, all that stuff, he does nothing to break them apart. Like they are still cuddling up. And then all of a sudden Hannah ends up waking up, and the first thing she asks is that a boner? Like one way to start the morning, I suppose. And then they end up talking about like men and the biology behind it. So yeah, I do think that this is hilarious. But that's what I mean by their banter and just like little random things that giggle and you find funny. Because what I like about this is that there's some serious topic like in the book, but then there's also the humour side of it, and I like the mix. I like the 50-50 type thing, because it's not all serious, it's not all funny. So that's one of the things that I love about this book. But anyway, I'm going to continue reading. Hopefully I'll get a little bit further in this time before the next update. So I have just got to the part, and I remember the scene vividly, but like I didn't remember like how good it actually was. So I just read the scene where Garrett and Hannah are like kissing, and then Dean walks in. And obviously they freak out, and then she goes, actually Garrett's just helping me brush up on my makeout skills. And then he goes, that's so? And she goes, yes, I have a date coming up, and your friend here thinks I don't have any moves. Trust me, we're not into each other at all, right Garrett? Right? And then Dean says, okay, I'm calling your bluff, baby doll, show me your moves. And you know what's funny? She does. And one thing that you always hear people like saying and like talking about in this book is how they find it funny how Hannah has kissed both Garrett and Dean, and they just find that entertaining. But yeah, this is one thing that I do really hope that they keep in the show, just because of how like funny it is, and I just feel like, I don't know, it adds something to it, and it is one of like the popular scenes for this book. So I don't know, I am really hoping they keep it in the show. I just feel like it would be hilarious and add a little something to it, you know? Okay, so I've got how cute they are. I don't know why, but like I am literally giggling, blushing, all that stuff, because their banter is just so cute and I love their friendship. Like obviously I remember loving them as a couple and all that stuff, but their friendship is just something else, you know? And I love how close of a friendship they gain and develop before they end up in like the couple stage, you know? So I appreciate that. So currently where I'm at, they are at the bar. They're at Malone's and it's Dean's party, and Garrett promises Hannah that he will look after her and like watch over her if she ends up having a drink. And like he was explaining to her like he's the D&D anyway, so he can like watch over her so that she can have fun for once in her life and like feel like she's safe and make sure that nothing happens to her. And like that's just the sweetest thing. Honestly, this is like one of my favorite parts, like one of my favorite scenes. Now this is something I really want them to keep in the show also, just because I feel like that is the this is the scene where Hannah shows her trust for Garrett. It's like the first scene of trust, so I really do hope they keep that in. But yeah, what he specifically says is, look, I'm the D&D tonight, but I'm offering to be more than just your driver. I'll be your bodyguard, your bartender, and most importantly your friend. I promise to look out for you tonight, Balsy. And yeah, I can't. I'm speechless, as you can tell. And then with the part of like, you can really, this is the scene that Hannah really starts to trust Garrett, and like it shows that. She then ends up saying, you won't let anything bad happen to me, will you, Garrett? And then he says, never. Come on. We're only on chapter 20. Chapter 20. Yeah, I'm just having a great time with this reread. Honestly, I'm enjoying it a lot more than what I thought I was going to, because I only reread it in like September last year. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be bored. Like maybe it's a bit too soon. Maybe I'm not going to enjoy it as much, you know, but I really wanted to reread it, get all the details before the show in a few days. And honestly, I'm having a great time, which I don't know why I'm surprised about, because it is a 5-star read for me. I do absolutely love this book. One of my favourites in the series. So anyway. Yeah, it is fun reading this, because I do hope they keep it in the show. I think they do, because I have watched the trailer and I'm pretty sure you see Hannah like at Malone's or something like that. So I am hoping that is the case and that they haven't switched it in any way. It looks like it, but I don't want to obviously get my hopes up. I hope they have kept it in. It looks like they have, but I am just like hoping it's like the same as the book type thing. And then there's also the scene where they are like dancing together to a song called Tuesday's Gone, and that scene is everything, because obviously you're reading it not really knowing much about it, and then all of a sudden you realise that Garrett's mood shifts, and that's because that song is his mom's song. And obviously I completely forgot about that little detail, so reading that again was surprising to me. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I am actually going to go and read now, and I'll give you all an update once I have one. I'm now at the part where Hannah is telling Garrett what happened to her, and oh my goodness, rereading this scene is hard, if I must say so myself. And I don't know, maybe it's because it's the third time reading it, but it definitely does hit so much more than what I did the first and second time. And I think that's because it's like obviously it's a hard topic, it's his reaction to it and like support. But yeah, I obviously knew like what she was going to tell him, but I think parts of like their conversation just kind of like was blanked for me. I didn't really remember how she told him and like what their conversation looked like type thing, but I remembered it happened because it's obviously a very like vivid and specific scene, like it's very important to the story. So I did remember that, I just didn't remember how it went down. And I do hope that they show it in the show and like the impact of it and like the emotion. I hope it's all exactly the same as the book, because it does hit right in the book, and I hope that it's portrayed exactly like that in the show, and I do have high hopes that it is. I don't know, like I said, because this is such an important scene, I just feel like it's very important that it's portrayed well. But it's very impactful because, I mean, come on, she was 15 when this happened to her. Not gonna lie, I actually forgot she was that young. Like, I knew she was young, but I completely forgot that she was 15. And not that it makes it any better if she was older, but like 15 is so young. Like, imagine something that traumatic happening to you at that age. I couldn't imagine. Like, and also you can tell how strong Hannah is, and the way she like talks about the situation, you can tell that she's like, it took her so long, but she's finally getting to like the healing stage, and that you're actually seeing that throughout the book. And honestly, Hannah is such a strong character, and I liked how supportive Garrett was when she told him. Like, he was there for her straight away, and he even felt like anger for her that this happened to her and that she had to go through this situation. I don't know, you could just tell how much of a caring guy Garrett is. Like, obviously I didn't like the way he treated women at the beginning of the book, and how he like called them puck bunnies, or like talked very like sexually about them, but you can really see the growth that he has as a character throughout the story. I mean, come on, he is like 20 something, but I love how he is with Hannah, and how you can tell that he will literally do anything for her, anything to protect her, anything she needs, he will like be there no matter what. And I feel like I kind of forgot how much of a friendship they built before they ended up being an actual couple. I knew they was friends, but I forgot how long they were friends for, and how long they had to like build that friendship up first. And so I appreciate that I remember that now, because I feel like that is important, that they was able to be friends, that they built up that friendship so that they can actually be like an amazing couple. And I feel like that is why they're so good together, is because they had an amazing friendship first, and like if anything was to happen to them like romantically, they know they can be good friends as well. I just really hope they don't like glaze over Hannah's story, because it is so important. It's a big part of the plot, and so I hope that they really do dive on into that in the show. As well as Garrett's story, I really hope they dive into his story as well, because both of their stories are just as important as each other's. But yeah, we haven't got to Garrett's story in the book yet, as where I am, but I know we are going to get to it, and so I just hope that they do Garrett's story just as much justice as Hannah's. I just wanted to do a quick check-in, because I have this much of the book left, and I must say I think I can definitely finish it today. I'm on page 252, and yeah, I'm like really having a great time with this. I'm enjoying it so much. I think I can finish it in one day, not only in one day but also in one sitting, which is amazing. Although last time I read it, I feel like if I remember correctly, I read it in one sitting also, because it is quite an easy book to just be able to read in one sitting, which is great. So I definitely do think I'm going to be able to finish it today. It also hasn't taken me that long to read at all. I think we are like 2 hours in currently of reading, and I don't have that much left. So I think it's like a 350 page book or something along those lines. So I don't know. I am going to continue reading, and then I'll give you all an update once I have one. Okay, update for you all. I am on chapter 35. I have less than 100 pages, I believe, and I think what's coming next, or should I say I'm actually quite positive what's coming next, is where Garrett and Hannah are going to Garrett's dad's house for Thanksgiving. And I remember this scene. And it angers me, if I must say so myself, because then I also know that like the third act breakup is coming also. So I am at that point where it's kind of like gonna be a very stressful time for me. If I'm being honest, any scene with Garrett's dad in it, I don't like. It's very stressful, because I do not like Phil Graham one bit. I don't like him, not only for what he's done to Garrett and Hannah, but also to what he's done to other people. If you know, you know. Yeah, he's just not a great man at all. And I know with the third act breakup, it's because of Phil, and Phil tells Hannah to break up with Garrett, otherwise he's going to like cut him off type thing. And I just know that's going to come, and I know it's frustrating to me, because it's just a very frustrating scene to read, especially when you know that Hannah could have made different choices, or I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much, but Thanksgiving scene, we just got to it. I haven't quite read it yet, but I know it's what's coming. If I remember correctly, Garrett ends up speaking to his dad's new wife. I don't know. I'm going to read it and then I'm going to come back to you all. Okay, I've just read it. So yeah, Garrett ends up going to his father's for Thanksgiving with Hannah, and they are like having like a conversation around the table. Phil is like saying some awful things to Hannah, like throwing digs type thing of like, oh, Garrett needs to really focus, he shouldn't be having a girlfriend, all that type of stuff, and like just not being very nice, being Phil, should we say. And then Garrett ends up noticing bruises, or like the way, no, Hannah notices the bruises. I think Garrett also notices bruises, and then also how Phil's wife flinches every single time he speaks or goes near her, and Garrett already knows that his dad is doing to his new wife exactly what he did to himself and his mother, and so he ends up speaking to Phil's wife, and he's like, he did this to myself and my mom, like, you're not the only one. If you need to get out, please, like, come to me if you need to talk, all that stuff. And so he just had like talk with her, and I don't know, I really appreciated reading that, and like Garrett warning this woman and being there for this woman of like, if you need to get out, I will help you type thing. So yeah, I don't like that scene. It's a very hard scene to read, but yeah, anyway, I am going to continue reading, and I'll give you all an update once I have one. I have just finished The Deal. I am definitely going to be giving it the 5-star I gave it the first time. If I'm being completely honest, I think it's more of like a 6-star read. The Deal and The Score, more like a 6-star is what I rated it, and then like The Mistake, The Goal was like the 5 stars. But yeah, absolutely love this. Absolutely loved my reread of it. Like I said throughout this vlog, wasn't expecting to enjoy the reread as much as I did. I was having a great time, and I don't know, it just hit differently the third time reading it. I think because when I was reading it the first time, it was like a new experience type thing. I didn't know what to expect. And then the second time, I was focusing on like the little details of the book. And then the third time, not only was I focusing on the little details, but I was also like just enjoying myself, enjoying the read, giggling at it. Like, I was enjoying it every single little second. And obviously I was paying attention to the little details because I'm getting ready for the show. I want to be able to compare the book to the show, like what's in it, what's not, all that stuff. The last like 100-ish pages was hard for me, just because that is when all of like the, well, hard things happen, where it's like the third act breakup, for example, and with them like being apart all because of Phil Graham. Disgusting. That man is, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, I digress. And also what was really frustrating is the fact that they could have avoided the third act breakup if Hannah had just gone to Garrett and talk to him, if they just communicated, which Garrett said himself. He literally said, if we had a conversation, it all could have been avoided. Like, it did kind of feel like we just needed a third act breakup, what we're going to use type thing. And I don't really like the fact there was the miscommunication one, but it wasn't like a long third act breakup, so I don't mind too much. Yeah, it's just more frustrating because literally Hannah just had to go to Garrett and be like, your father said this to me, he's threatening this, what should we do together? But no, instead she decides to just break it off. Yeah, they're just so cute together. I absolutely love the characters, side characters and the main characters in this. I love the story, and I'm so attached to these characters. Like, I will forever enjoy this series. Every single time I reread it, I love it more. Like, The Deal, I've read 3 times now. The Score I've read twice, and then the other ones I've read once. But I don't know, I'm actually like now really tempted to reread the rest of the series, which I think I'm actually going to do. Now, I'm not going to film me rereading the rest of the series, just because each time a new season comes out in the off-campus series, I'm going to want to reread the book that the series is based off. So like season 2, which I assume will be The Mistake, I would want to read the reread The Mistake and vlog it for you all. So I am going to reread the series on my own, but either way, I do feel like this is going to be like a series that I reread and just love every single time. Attached to the characters, I cannot wait to see them on my screen in a few days. I am so excited, and don't worry, I will be filming my reaction. So please remember to like and subscribe, because you bet on Wednesday my reaction will be up, especially for episode 1 at least. But for the next week, you'll be seeing my face, my reactions to Off Campus. So it's going to be so exciting. I have never been so excited for an adaptation before, if I'm being completely honest. Every single day, I think about it at least once a day, and I'm just like counting down the days until this show comes out. But anyway, that is the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye!